Have you ever wondered why the person who hurts you the most is often the person you cannot stop thinking about? Why? Because the betrayal, the lies, the rejection, the heartbreak, they seem to occupy your mind day and night. You replay the conversations, you check your phone, you wonder what they're doing, you imagine what you should have said, and sometimes, as painful as it sounds, you really do miss the person who absolutely devastated you. So if that's happening to you, it doesn't mean that you're weak, it doesn't mean that you're crazy, and it definitely doesn't mean that this person was the love of your life. As a licensed psychotherapist with over 20 years of experience in helping people heal from toxic relationships, trauma bonds, divorce, betrayal, and heartbreak, I've seen this pattern 1,000 times. So today I'm going to explain exactly why your brain keeps returning to someone who hurt you, what's happening psychologically, and most importantly, how to finally break free. So if you're struggling to stop thinking about someone who hurt you, the first thing I want you to understand is this. Your mind is not obsessed with the person, your mind is obsessed with the unfinished emotional business. Okay, what does that mean? That's an important distinction. In my therapy practice over the years, I've worked with countless people who couldn't stop thinking about an ex-partner. Some were cheated on, some were abandoned, some were discarded without explanation. Some were involved with emotionally unavailable partners, and almost every one of them have asked the same question. Why can't I get them out of my head? So the answer usually starts with something psychologists call, again, intermittent reinforcement. We've talked about that before. Intermittent reinforcement occurs when someone gives you love, attention, affection, validation, but it's given inconsistently. So one day they're loving, one day they're distant. One day they make you feel special, and the next day they pull away. This creates a powerful psychological attachment because your brain becomes focused on chasing the reward. It's the same mechanism that keeps people pulling the slot machine handles in casinos. You never know when the reward is coming. And because of that uncertainty, the attachment actually becomes stronger. Many people mistake this emotional intensity for love, but intensity and love are not necessarily the same thing. In fact, some of the strongest attachments I've seen in my practice were actually from trauma bonds. So a trauma bond occurs when emotional pain and emotional relief become intertwined. So the very person causing the pain also becomes the person providing temporary comfort. Over time, your brain begins associating relief with the source of the hurt. That's why walking away feels so difficult. Not because the relationship was healthy, but because your nervous system became conditioned to it. Another reason you can't stop thinking about them is because your brain desperately wants an answer. Human beings crave closure. We want things to make sense. We want explanation. We want certainty. We want clarity. But many painful relationships end without any of those things, right? Maybe they ghosted you. Maybe they left suddenly. Maybe they replaced you quickly. Maybe they never acknowledged the damage that they caused. So when that happens, your mind keeps searching for answers. It keeps reviewing evidence. It keeps replaying memories. Not because it's helping you, but because it's trying to solve a problem that may never be solved. Think of it like an open browser tab, but in your mind. Your brain keeps returning to it because it was never properly closed. There's another layer that many people don't realize as well. Sometimes you're not grieving the person, you're grieving the future that you imagined with them. You're grieving the plans, the dreams, the possibilities. You're grieving the version of a life you thought that you were building together. So in therapy, I've often seen people discover what they missed the most wasn't actually the partner. They missed the hope, the fantasy, the potential, the life they believe was coming. That's a very different kind of grief. And finally, let's talk about self-worth. Many people who can't stop thinking about someone who hurt them aren't really seeking love. They're seeking validation. We have to ask why. They're trying to answer a painful question. If I was enough, why did they leave? If I mattered, why didn't they treat me? Why did they treat me this way? If they loved me, why did they hurt me? So you see, the problem is that you're looking to the person who wounded you to heal the wound they created. And that's a battle you'll almost certainly lose. Okay. So healing begins when you stop asking them to explain your self-worth. Your worth was never determined by how they treated you. Their behavior reflects who they are, not who you are. So, how do you begin to start letting go? Okay, first, stop treating every thought as important. Okay, just because you think about them doesn't mean you need to engage with the thought. You don't have to. Okay, second, stop idealizing the relationship. You got to look at the person for who they are, okay, and not the fantasy. You need to separate the two. Remember the entire story, not just the good parts, not just the highlight reel in your head. Third, focus on rebuilding your life rather than analyzing theirs. Every minute spent trying to understand them is a minute not spent healing yourself. And fourth, understand that recovery is not about forgetting. It's not about it's about no longer being emotionally controlled by the memory. So eventually you think about them less, not because you're forced to, but because your life became bigger than the pain. And that's when the true healing begins. So if this video helped you understand why you can't stop thinking about someone who hurt you, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe as well, and comment. So I'm Dr. Tony, a licensed psychotherapist, and on this channel, I help people understand the psychology behind relationships, trauma bonds, attachment, emotional healing, and personal growth. And if this topic resonated with you, make sure you watch my next video, the number one sign you're in a trauma bond. So because once you understand that difference, you'll never look at toxic relationships the same way again. So I'll link it here in the screen. We'll see you in the next video.